Hello, Zebra English teachers and those who would like to be teachers. Are you wondering what a Zebra English lesson is like? Well, I'm going to walk you through just a standard lesson flow that we have with our lessons. Okay, with Zebra English lessons, you do have games that are in them, but the games are not so gamified that you cannot have that student output or that interaction with the student that you want. Also, the games, because you do have games, it's not boring that you're like, oh, this is so, just repeat over and over, or that it's just boring for the student and they're not wanting to engage in the lesson. Zebra English has a good balance of games that are in there along with output with the student, because you are practicing vocabulary, you are practicing sentences, you're doing role plays, which is like conversation between you and the student. And then also you have a presentation time. That's like speech. And then time to work on your pronunciation. So we'll just go through each one of these bit by bit and give you maybe a little bit better picture of what Zebra English is like and what their lessons are like. Now, Zebra English, their lessons are well thought out and developed, and they meet the standards that need to be met to help these students progress and learn English and have a solid foundation in it. So let's start at the beginning. You have your introductory slide, and the animation and the graphics on these slides are amazing. I mean, it's something like out of Disney when you look at it. And it's just beautiful colors and pictures and scenery. And it's very appealing to teachers as well as the student. So we have our introductory slide, and then we go to our next slide. And that slide is called Follow Me. And what it is it's taking selfies with you and the student, because what is everyone doing now? Taking selfies. Well, now we can be countries apart, yet we're taking pictures that put us side by side together. And it's called Follow Me. When I introduce it, I'll say, let's take a picture. And we take our pictures. There's 3 pictures that we can take. And it'll post those pictures. It has us side by side up at the top. And then I can let them pick their favorite one. And we have so much fun doing that, because we can act out, and we can, if we have our stuffed animal that day, we hold it and, do our pictures with it. And they'll have a little symbol for you to do each time. So it's a lot of fun to do with the student and builds great rapport, and it's just a lot of fun. So that's our first one. Oh, and the one really fun part about that slide is that sometimes they give you things to do, like make a heart together or do a high five together. What's the coolest thing? Because they come in from their side of the camera, the picture, and I'm coming in from the other one, and so we make our hands meet right at that where those 2 pictures connect. And then we take the picture, and it looks like we have made this heart together, and it's just our pictures that are together. And I always say, look, you're in China and I'm in the United States, separated by oceans, but we can connect with each other. And it's really a cool feature of that camera function. All right, so that's the first slide. Then the next slide is a cultural slide. And on that slide, there's some little bit of history. It may be about another country, maybe their food or an animal in that country, or a historic marker, or famous geographical, if it's a mountain or something like that. But there's some kind of cultural slide that we can discuss and have a little bit of interaction about. And it has a target like question and answer. And then after that, we go into different slides. One that is usually next is called What's Missing. And it's a game, sort of like where you mix the cards up and then one stays turned over and you're trying to guess what that card is. So there's 3 cards, and one will flip over, well, 2 will flip over where you can see them, and one stays hidden. And you're supposed to say, what's missing? And look for what's missing. And it's one of their vocabulary words they've already had, and you're just reviewing it with them. And so that's a lot of fun to do also. Then there are look and say activities where they are looking at the picture and differing movements or activities are happening within the slide when you click on a little number that they don't see, but you activate something in the slide to move or have some type of activity, and you ask a question with it, and then they're going to answer and make conversation about that slide or produce that vocabulary, that sentence that they're reviewing or needing to practice. So that's look and say. Then we also have role play. Role play is another activity that you will see, another slide that you will see in every lesson. And that's the one that I really like that I was telling you about. It's like a conversation because you listen to the conversation between these two people or two characters that are part of ZebraEnglish, and then you get to click on the different word bubbles that they say. And like I'll say, I will be Zach, you will be Emma, and I get to say Zach's part and they get to say Emma's part. And it drops down each time they go to say something so that I know what to read and they know what to respond, and I know what to ask and they know what to reply. And it just goes back and forth like a tennis match. And you're having a conversation with them. So that's role play, and that's a lot of fun. And you can also switch the roles, and then I will say, okay, I will be Emma, you will be Zach, and then we'll switch it, and then they ask the questions and I answer the questions. Okay, another couple games that they have. One is a slot machine. Again, these are working on their target sentences or target vocabulary words, or maybe introducing a few new vocabulary words. So you will play like the slot machine game where it spins, and then something's going to come up in 3 different slots. Or you'll play the turntable game and you'll go around and around and around, and then something will pop up, and when it stops, and they will say what that is. Now, after role play, there's another slide, and sometimes it's 1 slide, sometimes it's 3 slides, but it's called presentation. And with presentation, that's what I think is awesome because it's in every lesson and it's working on their speaking ability. So it's like having a speech class within your 25-minute lesson every time. It gives them a time to present, to work on their English, their enunciation, the pronunciation of the words, saying it clearly and allowing it to flow, and speaking in front of someone else. So I will do it all by myself and present it, model it to them, and then we'll practice it together, and sometimes they're filling in blanks, and then I will give them the opportunity and I will say, okay, it's your turn all by yourself, and then I will listen and they will read it line by line and present. So it's a great speech activity, and it brings all their vocabulary and their sentences together into one frame. Now, after that, there is pronunciation time. And pronunciation time is usually 3 to 4 slides long, and we are working on a target sentence with target words. And there will be a word in red, and that word in red you will want to work on. The great thing is, they have this feature called Big Face, and it puts both of our faces beside each other, and where we can really focus and concentrate on our mouth and our tongue and the whole position and everything that goes into making that sound. So Big Face mode is a great way to practice with our students. And then also that time, like maybe they have that target word, but you remembered a word that they didn't have that one that good when we were practicing earlier in the lesson. And you can't just keep going over and over it because you need to get through the lesson and you don't want to frustrate them either. So then we bring it back into pronunciation time. Oh, it is, if they were not saying that clearly. And then you can practice it is or anything else that you need to practice during that pronunciation time. So that is a great, another place that I have to work on their pronunciation and work on those skills. And now I hear my children, so I better end this video because after pronunciation, It's the ending slide. And it's a fun celebratory slide. But here come my kids, so over and out, Zebra English fans. Goodbye now.